Hey friends, it's Bethany again. This is actually, I think, my 5th attempt at making this video, and for whatever reason, just ain't happening for me. Life keeps interrupting, so I hope that I am able to finish it this time. I was going to put out a video about encouragement, because encouragement is huge in my life and in the life of everybody that we serve. Encouragement is huge, but I really feel like I need to share a little bit about dependence and dependence on God. Hopefully it's an encouragement to somebody who might be struggling with what that looks like in their life, or how to depend on God. And so I just wanted to share with you my experience with dependence on God and what that looks like for me, because I think when we share our own personal testimonies, it has huge impact. You can't dispute my testimony. It's my testimony of what happened in my life. So I want to encourage you to share your testimonies. If you've gone through something or if you've learned a lesson, share it. Don't keep your mouth shut, share it. So I just want to share with you about dependence and what that has looked like for me over the last couple years. For me, my nature is not dependable. I am a dependable person, I hope, ha ha ha, but I'm not good at depending on others. I don't like to ask for help. I don't like to receive help. And I don't want to depend on you for help, just by nature. I'm not saying that's the right way to be. That's just kind of who I am. And so God has had to teach me a lot about that. Josh and I are both that way. We're both very headstrong people, and we can do this all ourselves, and we don't need your help. And but God has had to teach us otherwise. And so while we've been good Christian people, there's still, hopefully as a Christian, we all learn lessons every day, and we've never fully arrived at perfection. We all have strong points and we all have weak points, and thank God that He teaches us and encourages us along life's way in those areas. And so for me, for dependence for our family, the last couple of years, most of you know, we went through a very difficult time. We went through a house fire. Following, quickly, we had a beautiful home, had 6 acres, blah blah blah. Josh had a great job. Housing market crashed. His job went down the hoe. Had to give up the nice house. Had to sell the boat, sell the nice cars, downsize. We downsized to a small farmhouse. It caught on fire before our insurance was final. So not only did we lose the job, the house, the toys, the nice cars, we also lost all of our stuff. So we kind of felt like we were almost like the story of Job in the Bible. We were slowly being whittled down. Thank God, going through that, I could kind of feel that God was teaching us something through the process, so I purposely prayed over the protection of my family and my kids, and Lord, I don't know what you're doing here, but we trust you, and please keep my children safe. Because, Job had it 1,000 times worse, but that's kind of what I felt like going through all that. And so we lost everything we owned. We were starting over from scratch, married 13 years, and we're starting over from scratch. And so we had no money, no stuff, no house. So we had nowhere to turn but to depend on God. And so, okay, God, here we are, now what? And He's like, I've been trying to teach you about depending on me. Here you've been building this beautiful kingdom for yourself and your family. Yeah, you've been serving me. Yeah, you've been going to church. Yeah, you've been teaching at your church. You've been fostering children. You've been doing all these good things. But I need you to do more. I need you to do this. I need you to focus on my kingdom and not your kingdom. So that's why I had to take away the nice house. That's why I had to take away the toys. That's why I had to take away the stuff, because I needed you to only see me. All right. That's a big pill to swallow. And so that's what we did. We said, okay, God, we have nowhere to turn except for you. And so He said, okay, if you're completely dependent on me, look out, because the windows of heaven are about to open. And that's exactly what happened. God came to our rescue through our friends and our family and strangers, and just blew our mind with the provision and given us 10 times the stuff that we needed. But from that, because we're like, God, what are we supposed to learn from this, and blah 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 blah. And so, He gave us so much stuff that we were able to take it and in turn bless others going through a similar situation, which that launched the Clothe a Kid that we do now. We went through a hard time. We knew what it felt like to not have that stuff. And then when we were given enough to share, we were like, oh, this is awesome. We want to do this on a grander scale. And so that's when he gave us the vision for Clothe a Kid. But dependence is not something that comes easy to me. And I still have to learn about that every day and have to keep myself grounded in the Word, because I want to do it myself. I want to make the plan, and I want to follow the plan. I love to make a plan. I love to be organized. I love to have a schedule of events. But God's like, I need you to depend on me. So he gave me the verse Matthew 6:33 when I started Clothe a Kid, that if we seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, he's going to give us everything we need. And that's a wonderful word, but it's really hard to do. And so going through all that garbage, I was the only one left with a job. And he's like, okay, now that all this is gone from your life, and now that you're getting ready to have your 4th kid, and now that your husband's looking for employment, I want you to quit your job. I know you're starting over, but I think now's a good time for you to quit your job. What? So Matthew 6:33 jumped off the page, and he said, if you seek first my kingdom and my righteousness, I'm going to give you everything you need. What? I'd sang that song my whole life, being a preacher's daughter. Seek ye first. So, you know, I've had that verse memorized since I was 2 or 3. But it jumped off the page. If I seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, he's going to give me everything I need. And if you read the verses before that, it's talking about food and clothes and how much more God provides for, you know, the grass and the flowers and all these beautiful things that God daily provides for us. And how much more is he going to take care of us, his child, if we seek first his kingdom and try to live righteously, seek his righteousness. And he promises, that's a promise, that he's going to give us everything we need. And so I have to tell myself that all the time. But God's awesome, because when we're completely dependent on him, that's when he lavishes us with his love and his provision. And what do I mean by that? I mean, okay, so I quit my job. We started this ministry. And so there are weeks, and if you're my friend on Facebook, you'll see my posts where we're like, okay, well, we don't have gas money for Josh to get to work this week. Now what? Well, it never fails. Never fails. Somebody will say, oh, I need to give you a check for such and such. No, you don't. And I don't.